I think she might actually be really good. Let's talk about why.
Shoot him, Kevin!
Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. So they announced the next fusion today, and I'm pretty excited about it. We'll start with the A1. Attacks one enemy 2 times. The first hit has a 75% chance to place a Hex debuff on the target for 2 turns. Places a 30% increased crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. As far as the A1 goes, there's, kind of a standard A1. I don't think it's anything special. I don't think Hex on the A1 is anything to get excited about. It's a single target A1, so I'm not exactly jumping for joy over it. The increased crit damage self buff is interesting. It can come in handy for sure if you don't have that in your team already. But I'm not super impressed with the A1, but to be honest, I don't know that there's a lot of A1s that I'm like, oh my god, that A1, you know what I'm saying? So, I think it's a fine A1, and we can leave it at that. Stop right there. Click the link in the description right now to get a free legendary Elenaril and 3 free amazing epics as you level up. Here are the exact steps that you need to follow. Step 1, log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Here we go. You'll find Elenaril here, as well as Uugo at level 10, Tagoar at level 20, and Rector Drath at 30. Don't forget to use the promo code Supreme6 to get yourself the awesome Supreme Galek. This is an amazing account start in Raid. So click on my link right now and follow the steps. When we go to the A2, attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 20% chance of repeating the attack. Now, if you're not familiar with repeat attack champions, they can be very, very powerful. The first one that comes to mind is Fushan. He has a repeat attack on his A1, speaking of A1s. They call it here, it's placing an extra hit, but that can prove to do a lot of damage, especially if you get lucky, because it's a 20% every time. It's a stacking 20%, meaning that you could get a lot of hits, potentially. It's very rare, it's unlikely, but when it happens, it hits hard. So I don't know if that's the case with this, right? I'm not informed as others and getting into the code and looking at, how this will actually work, but if it works in that way, I think that's very good. By the way, this is a very clearly a Hydra champion, and I am looking at them through the lens of being a Hydra champion. I'm not looking at them through the lens of Arena or anything else. I'm looking at them for Hydra. Hydra's my favorite game mode, and it's where I'm most excited to use this champion. So the second part of this ability, when this champion counterattacks or teams up with allies to attack an enemy, will use this skill instead of their default skill. The damage inflicted with this skill increases by 10% each time an ally is devoured. Now, the only place where an ally gets devoured currently is in Hydra. So obviously, again, Hydra directed ability. Damage stacking over time is pretty good. It's why other champions prove to be very valuable in Hydra, and we'll talk about that. We'll make some comparisons, but I do very much like that ability, especially the counterattacking portion of it can be very, very handy. I think there's a high elf that does ally attacking or team up with a random ally. The ally joining the attack will, So Fina is a really, really fine fit with this guy, I feel like. If you could, obviously, it's not always going to be. Oh, and they deal more damage attacking out of their turn too. But I think, it's not always going to be that guy that pairs up, but I do think that this is a really good champion to pair with Fina for sure. So because of the ally attack mechanic in there and the fact that he would use this skill and it would do more damage, I can see a lot of value there for sure. So keep all that in mind, right? I will say that the devoured damage stacking is going to take a long time to stack, even to get up to 50%. That's 5 devours basically cycling through your whole team before you're getting full damage out of this champion, which can be frustrating. But in a long fight like Hydra, if you're going 1,000 turns, you're going to get devoured many times, and this guy's damage will scale up based on that, which traditionally speaking has proven to be a good thing. Damage scaling tends to be good. Think about Harima as another damage scaling champion who gets stronger over the course of a fight. She gets stronger a lot faster, but you guys get where I'm going with this. Now on to the A3. Attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 75% chance or 100% chance when booked of placing decreased speed and a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. If the target is under a hex, places these debuffs before attacking. Okay. Decreased speed is one of the things you really want in Hydra. You want to get as many turns as you can when you can. You also want to reduce the speed of decapitated heads so they don't come back to life so quickly. Weaken is, for me in particular, a difficult buff for me to work into my teams. I have a video that I have recorded. I don't think it's out yet. I don't know if it'll be out at the time of this recording coming out. I'm going to try to boost this one up a little bit quicker because relevant news. But getting Weaken into my team is proving to be a bit difficult just because of the champions that I have and my approach to the fight. But let's back up just a little bit. Most players of varying ranges are likely using Uugo as their block buffs champion. Very easy to get champion. She's an epic. This champion pairs very well with an Uugo. So Uugo brings decreased defense and block buffs. This champion reduces speed and brings weaken. The combination of those 2 champions gives you almost everything that you want. You even do get a bit of a hex here, albeit not the best because it's an A1 hex. That A1 isn't even really like triggerable from ally, like you lose the benefit of the ally attack portion of it because they use the A2 in the ally attack, which is a good thing, but it's just one of the, that hex really isn't doing much for you on a single target. You get a lot of what you need in Hydra just between those 2 champions. I like that A3. Now, both of these book down to 3-turn cooldowns, which I'm so happy about. One of my biggest frustrations with Esme, who came out a couple of months ago now, my big frustration with her was not having a 3-turn cooldown, and not just not having a 3-turn cooldown, but one of the buffs was 2-turn buff on a 4-turn cooldown. It's like, that doesn't scream legendary to me. This is screaming legendary. 2 3-turn cooldowns. They're gonna be cycling very quickly. Like, I like this. Then we have the passive. Will ignore life barrier and ally protection. Increases this champion's defense by 5% for each active buff on this champion, stacking up to 50%. So, while it's not as consistent and as long-lasting as Harima's, right, where Harima gets permanently, after she uses her A2 so many times, she permanently gets that defense. We do have a champion here who will gain defense over time, therefore gaining damage, right? Now, this all depends on multipliers. If the multipliers on this guy suck, then yeah, we're not going to be happy with it, right? But without knowing those multipliers, I think the kit reads very well. I'm very intrigued by it. I think it has the potential to be a very good Hydra damage dealer, and I kind of want to dive into that a little bit more. Also an aura, defense in all battles by 28%. I think that's actually pretty good. I always think of UDK as kind of the standard aura. So 30%, yeah. So all battles by 28% is not the best. I would like it to be more on par with, another legendary. I don't like it necessarily being a step down to 28%. It's only 2%. It's not the biggest deal, but I will be honest with you guys that I don't like that. I would like to see it at 30%, but I don't think it's a super bad thing because the champion seems quite good on paper. One of the things I'm trying to do on my main team, I'm trying to work Varl into my main team. I'll show you guys my main team. Again, I probably have a better team. This is just the one I've been using for a while. It works for me. I just recently hit a new personal best with this team, and here it is. Now you can see this team does not have a weaken on it. If you kind of are familiar with some of these champions, I get decreased defense here, but I don't have a weaken. I think I would benefit quite a bit by getting a weaken in here. With the buff extension and the large number of buffs that I'm bringing with this team in general, I'd be able to get that damage stacking out of the defense of Lysanthir Beastbane. So I do think that they'll probably prove to be more effective than my Thor currently is. One downside is we do likely need to get accuracy on the champion, which is going to be a bit painful, but we also need accuracy on Thor, and Thor has proven to be a pretty good damage dealer, at least for me in Hydra. But my original plan for the longest time has been to replace Thor with Varl, and that's because, again, we're getting damage stacking over time, which adds up very quickly. He also would have brought a weaken and a decreased attack. I don't think I have one currently on the team, but I'm never really been a problem so far for my team. I've been able to be okay with the surviving. Very valuable, very common, good champion in Hydra for a lot of different players. Now, this is not an apples to apples comparison, because what we're seeing when we talk about this champion is a defense-based nuker, of course, with different types of scaling. You've got scaling here from on this specific ability. You've got the damage scaling here from active buffs on the champion, and you would need 10 buffs, which is not the easiest thing to get full capability out of it as well. So there are some potential issues, especially for newer players. I will say, though, that if you're talking about who your decreased speed champion is going to be, I think this is a really, really good option. So if we take a look at my roster really quickly, this is my main account right now. Let's look for debuffs and look for decreased speed. We'll go ahead and include the vault. If you look at the options that I have for decreased speed, right? She does do pretty decent damage, but I'd like to think that this guy, who is clearly a nuker, is going to do more damage than Estrid. What makes Thor such a great decreased speed champion is that he also hits really, really hard. Lady Kimmy, while bringing decreased speed, is going to be more of a support type champion. She's not really doing a ton of damage. Authority, which I think a lot of people are probably going to start using here as more people start to get their wins in Siege, does bring decreased speed and block buffs, which is very nice, but not too much else other than that decreased attack. I would like, I still value Uugo a little bit better because you get that decreased defense and the block buffs, and there are enough champions to get decreased speed kind of from other areas. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make, the trend that I'm trying to show here, is a lot of the decreased speed that's coming out on my account, at least, is not coming out from nukers. It's coming out from supports, or nukers in the form of like poisons and stuff, like not really hard-hitting champions. So I could be wrong about this. This is just my take on it. There does seem to be a bit of a shortage when it comes to pure nukers, and if you can incorporate the debuffs that you want while also incorporating a large amount of damage, that's a huge plus for your account. That's a huge benefit, especially for me. Like, I'm trying to squeeze out more damage wherever and whenever I can. So I'm very, very intrigued by this champion. I do think I'm going to go for them. They're also going to be, I believe, a hybrid fusion. Yeah, so it starts on Monday. They're planning to launch a mixed fusion event of a new champion. Mixed fusion is a new word. I always thought it was hybrid. If what they mean is hybrid, that usually means that you get fragments for the epics, and then you get 4 epics and fuse them. And they're not as easy, I think, as pure fragment ones, but they are easier than a traditional fusion like we just went through, where you have to level up each and every single rare, then level up all the epics, right? So I don't know. I'm excited about it. I'm intrigued by it. I could be wrong. I haven't actually watched any other content creators talk about this champion, but what I'm reading for my account is exciting. Deeper, heavier accounts, this may not even scratch the surface, but if you're dipping your toes into Hydra right now, and you likely don't have a great decrease speed champion, I think that this would be a very, very good option. You get your weaken, you get your decreased speed. That's going to help increase the damage that everyone else is doing on your team. And it can be hard sometimes to find that weaken. Obviously, Lydia exists, right? If you're using Lydia, that makes sense, but she's not bringing that decreased speed for you. So I am excited about the champion. I am going to go for them, I think, on both accounts. I definitely think on both accounts. I don't really have a proper Hydra damage dealer outside of my Thor. Thor is my best damage dealer on the free-to-play when it comes, because I'm not even close to Varl on the free-to-play. So this could prove to be a very, very good champion to do damage in Hydra. If the multipliers are good, that's the biggest question mark. If the multipliers suck, then yeah, probably not worth going for. But if the multipliers are good, I'd like to think they will be, because I'm a positive person. I think the champion could be good and worth going for. Anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on the champion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you going to go for them? I would love to read those. I love other feedback. I love other input, things that I don't see, right? Because I may not be seeing everything. You guys may be like, Roadblock, come on, man. No, this guy is going to suck because of X, Y, and Z. Feel free to let me know that, because I'm okay being wrong. And I would want to make sure I give the proper information to my community. All right, guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Take care.